Now that we actually know what England's formation looks like, I can make a better score per... Wait, Teddy Knight is a winger after all? Well, it seems like the official translations have failed us. After Teddy Knight's character description graphic said, wingback, and then WB the next chapter, it switched to WG in this chapter, and he's where a winger should be in the formation graphic, so I hope this gets fixed in the volume releases. Looking at the other players, there's Augie, who's the center forward, which isn't that surprising. I thought he was going to be the captain though, so I was surprised to learn that the captain of England is a player that's currently an NPC. Rook, Damon, Swift, and Arthur are also players from Manshine City that are making a reappearance in this arc, but probably won't do much. Just like the France U20 team, 5 of the 11 players facing the Japan U20 team are familiar faces from the NEL, and the rest are new characters, but England's bench has been confirmed to contain more familiar faces from the NEL, Busby and Young. Busby and Arthur are pretty easy to discern in chapter 329, but even though it's a bit harder to tell, this player is apparently Young. Kit number 4, full head of dark but probably black hair, unlikely that this is a new character and Nomura decided to draw for one panel only? Yeah, I'm convinced. But if this is Arthur, since this person appears to be wearing the number 8, and has dark hair with shaved sides, why did he suddenly switch his kit number to 5? While Skeleton / Arch and Pong may have not been playing during the France vs England match, they must have been on the bench, and you can't switch your kit number once the FIFA World Cup begins, so I'm just gonna chalk this up to FIFA having different rules. Since you normally can't have kit numbers that go past 26, but Japan's team is full of players that spot kit numbers going all the way up to 99. I'm curious about why Arthur changed his kit number and if he switched with the current number 8, but I'm more curious about why Busby and Young played against France, but aren't starting against Japan. Did one of them play as a center back instead of Goodman, even though he's the best defender on the team? Maybe. But since we don't see Damon either, it's more likely that Damon didn't play in this match, and England ran a 3 center back formation with Busby, Goodman, and Young. However, if Goodman is truly the best defender on the team, then it doesn't make sense why he wasn't shown as Loki went on to score his presumed second goal of the match. Was Goodman marking Layden or Camus off screen and leaving the job of stopping the most dangerous player on the field to players that were obviously worse than himself? Sounds like a bad decision. Or maybe Busby and Young were confident in being able to stop Loki, so they tried to stop him, failed miserably, got reprimanded by Fox, and then Fox decided to go with a 2 center back formation moving forward with Goodman and Damon. Maybe, but I've already given way too much thought over something that probably had the same level of force I put into it as this panel did in regards to Chappa, so I'll move on. NPCs and Blue Lock are an intriguing topic to me, and I like to think about them since most of the fanbase won't even remember their names. Anyways, the new characters are probably going to do more in this match than the recurring players from Manshine City, with the exception of Augie of course, since Goodman already did more in one panel than any of the Manshine City defenders have done in the entire series, and Yang has already shown the ability to keep up with Zantetsu, so he and the other midfielders will surely continue to do more than someone like Driver, who didn't even get to play for the entire Bastard München vs Manshine City match. England's jerseys look cool. I like that they have a cross that's reminiscent of the cross of St. George. And I should move on, this script is already way too long. I like that Isagi remembers Augie, and considers him a badass. Even though he kinda looked silly a few times during the Bastard München vs Manshine City match, was the most vocal anti-Nagi Reo shipper, and ended up with the lowest salary value of the relevant non-Blue Lockers. I've always liked his character, as the Mad Doctor who is also somehow the voice of reason. I'm interested in seeing his relationship with Fox, and whether he had anything to do with his team's current crazy state. It turns out that Fox is a coach, and not a player, and I love his design, because it's very insert synonym for interesting here. While he looks less like a fox than Teru does, his sclera being black instead of white, it leaking out of his eyes, his top central incisors being longer than the rest of his teeth, and his wad light and dark hair really gives off the impression that something's wrong with this guy. Ego seems to know who Fox is, so maybe these two played soccer during the same time in the past, but I doubt we'll see any of that past until we get Ego's backstory. Another thing I thought was funny is that in my Kunigami vs Teddy video, I decided to cut out a few sentences from my script because I thought it wasn't necessary. But in those sentences, I mentioned Teddy undergoing an awakening after breaking free from Fox's Asian fox mouth. Anyways, while I assumed Fox was Teru Gazunizato, or at the very least a player on England's U20 team, something like that might actually happen because Teddy, and the rest of the team, seems to be brainwashed into saying shit over and over again. This was probably Fox's doing, so if Teddy awakens in this match, it makes more sense for him to do so by breaking free from his coach's methods, rather than by breaking up with his toxic boyfriend. Childs seems like a fun guy, is still smiling even after being unable to prevent Karasu's pass to Isagi. He also has very distinct eyebrows and an even more distinct round nose. That's all I got for you. Also, it seems like even England's captain has been brainwashed, or maybe it has something to do with the team's current crazy state. But he'll probably stay as an NPC, so if anyone on the team had a part to play, it was probably Yagi. Niang is hot. Fox is not hot. Therefore, Niang has a better character design than Fox. Seems legit. But back to the brainwashing. Fox saying 0 to 1, and the player saying 1 to infinity should sound familiar if you remember the first and second selection. But of course, Ego and the other blue lockers would use a big number like 100 instead of infinity. The 0 to 1 thing was about rebuilding soccer from 0, which could be achieved by a striker that's capable of scoring a goal and the rest of the team working together to help turn their 1 into 100. But Fox is saying that he, the coach, is 0 to 1. Last time I checked, coaches aren't able to score goals, so I think what he's getting at is he must think that his tactics and methods are a replacement for that revolutionary striker that leads the team by turning 0 into 1, and then the team still works together to turn 1 into infinity. But any one of them can score goals using whatever Fox taught them to turn 0 into 1. This team reminds me of how the Blue Lock 11 was described when they played against the former Japan U20 team, which was a team that could score from anywhere, but also like Ubers, and how they were a single-celled organism that, well, played like a team where everyone was on the same page. Fox probably thinks his philosophy is perfect, and so I'm hoping a moment happens at the end of the match where Fox is Zai Laparo Grands, and Ego is Mayuri Kurotsuchi. I don't have much to say in terms of the soccer that took place in this match, but Shido dubbing himself Cream Pie Man is in character, and I platonically love him for that. Alright, score prediction. Now that we know what England's lineup looks like, I'm still gonna predict that Blue Lock will win 4-3, but instead of Augie and some nameless bum scoring, it'll be Augie and Teddy Knight scoring a brace. I hope one of the midfielders or Child scores, and Teddy only scores 1, but this is Blue Lock and NPCs haven't been scoring on-screen goals since the first selection, so I don't have my hopes up.